entering the games this weekend, I think there is zero conversation about McCaffrey winning this award and 100% conversation about Tyreek Hill winning, to the point that Tyreek is being discussed as an MVP candidate. Who's talking about McCaffrey for any of this? Any of it? And like Kaylee Hardon gives a report on the Black Friday game. The entire 5 minutes up till kickoff is about Tyreek Hill, how he's playing through injuries in his pursuit of 2,000 yards. Where is any of this for Christian McCaffrey? Like, the story of the season is Tyreek going for a record. Historic performances tend to win this. And McCaffrey's just a really, really, really good player having a good season. But like that, they're not the same thing. Like, they're not even close to the same thing. But like, now I'm a little worried that like, is the Eagles matchup as rough as I think it is? Or is this actually an opportunity for this to get interesting again? So a little bit of doubt. I bet more Tyreek Hill this week. So I have Hill and McCaffrey from forever ago, which if you didn't listen then is of no help to you, but like, this is where I'm at. So I have both, and I've been like waiting, and I had CeeDee Lamb at 1,000,000 to 1. And it's like, all right, hold or what? And I have reshaped positions a little bit where Tyreek was plus 110 in a couple places, and I bet a lot of that. And I've like reshaped it so Tyreek is my biggest win, and I gave up some equity in McCaffrey to do it. So like, I don't win as much on him now, and like, that's how I've kind of restructured things. I'm nervous, like a little more nervous than I was before. And like, yeah, and like Tyreek's like, he didn't practice yesterday. Like, you want him to play in the game. It's worth noting, like, it's on the injury report with an ankle injury that he sustained on Black Friday. You want to know like what's up. Like, you want to know what's going on before you place the bet, especially if you're gonna, at this point, you might as well wait and just like make sure he's telling you he's good to go in the game. If he's okay, I don't believe, like, the market's telling you he's like 50%, 52% to win the award. I think he's like 75, 80% to win the award at this point. I mean, I really do. Like, it's to me, it's, does he play in the games? Like, that's what you want to dodge at this point, because I don't think he has to get 2,000 yards. I think he needs the pursuit of 2,000 yards to be the story of the season. And it's like Justin Jefferson. He was chasing 2,000 yards. He didn't get 2,000. He didn't break any records last year. He won easily. Christian McCaffrey is not over 1,000 yards rushing yet. We're 2/3 of the way into the year. He's going to be the leading rusher. He might lead the NFL in rushing touchdowns too. He might pass Mostert. Like, he's 2 behind. We'll see. Like, he's like Nick Chubb from last year. Yeah, like, or Josh Jacobs. It's like, great season, all pro. You're awesome. There is zero record setting about any of this, and the other guy's going for 2,000 yards. And it's like his mission in life, and it's been covered by everybody. So from a narrative standpoint, which thing would you prefer? Yeah, they both play on good teams. Who cares? Like, that doesn't matter in this situation. So yeah, can McCaffrey get back in like, if he starts going crazy here, of course, like, there is some percent chance this happens. I think Tyreek is so far ahead right now, though, and I don't think that's being expressed by this price. I think especially if you have nothing, though, I think he's so much more of a higher probability than this percent to win the award, based on how everyone talks about both players, or how they don't talk about one and all they do is talk about the other one, how one's talked about as an MVP candidate, the other's not at all. Yeah, the Eagles game can change minds and change the narrative of the season. Sure, it can. Also, Tyreek Hill plays Washington and Tennessee. We're not going to be talking about 2,000 yards 3 weeks from now. We're really not going to be talking about that if he plays the games. We talk about it every single week. So yeah, he can get hurt. This is not some lock. It's not 100%. The market price on him right now, I think he is much more likely to win than that. And if you have no position, I think soon would be when I would consider getting in on that.
Well, let's go to this Falcons-Jets game where Bijan Robinson's been able to string a couple good games together, and what, the Falcons are performing well. What a shock, right? Give your best player the ball, and maybe like you'll actually win some football games. What are your expectations for Bijan Robinson going up against this Jets defensive front on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm buying high on Bijan here. I think that his over on his rushing receiving yards right now at 79.5 is a bit too low. So the Jets defensive tackle Al Woods tore his Achilles in week 8. Jets run defense is allowing over 4 yards per carry to running backs, and a running back to clear 80 rushing receiving yards in 4 or 5 games since that mark. I mean, the only miss was like the Chargers running game, which I don't even know if it can be classified as a running game with how bad it's been. Where the Falcons, very dedicated to the run, lead the league in run rate over expectation. And the Jets on the other side are allowing teams to run the most in the league as well. We have Tim Boyle getting another start here. I think we were going to see probably a ton of runs from this Falcons team that just ran the ball over 40 times and threw the ball only 21 times. Now, the reason that I like the rushing receiving yards is that even only on 21 pass attempts for Ritter last week, Bijan had a 43% target per route run rate, 6 targets. They made it very clear they wanted to emphasize, like, get him into space. And when they are passing the ball, they're going to use him in that way too. So I think it just gave us more outs where if, they fall for some reason, they fall behind or need to throw the ball, Bijan will be very involved. But, at that base there, he's going to get the ball 15, 16, 17 plus times on the ground as well in a pretty good matchup. So I like that over too.
Here's my thought on Rodgers and the fact that I think it's interesting that they chose now to open the 21-day window. I think they're kind of hedging, right? If they go 2-1 or like 3-0 over the next 3 games, maybe there's a chance that Rodgers comes back. It's still not even 100% if that happens. Also, they're not going 2-1 or 3-0 in the next 3 games. Like, they're very likely to go 1-2 at best. They play the Dolphins, they play the Texans next week, and they have the Falcons this week. They're home underdogs in that game. Tim Boyle starting on Sunday. My thought is they're likely to be out of it, and or Rodgers isn't going to be healthy enough to feel good about playing at this point, and then they won't activate him in 21 days, and then this cloud won't be hanging over the franchise the final couple weeks of the season. Like, everyone has to answer, like, is Aaron coming back for the final couple games? Like, it'll be done already, and they won't have to answer all those questions week 16, 17, and 18. That's kind of my thought as to why they did that, like, now, why they chose to do it and open up the practice window.
Yeah, I agree.
So my best guess is he's not going to play. He could, I just feel like he won't. Probability,
yeah, I
right?
feel the same way. My best guess is like he's not going to play. Yeah, I don't think you can ever bet him right now. And you might be like, oh, practice window, like this is the time. I think you're going to want way more than what's happening right now in order to, especially at a pretty low price now, honestly, like a 12-1. That you're like, yeah, really good chance the guy's not even playing.
Can I say something crazy? And like maybe this is stupid, and I mean that sincere. Like maybe this is stupid. If you want to bet Rodgers to win comeback player of the year, shouldn't you just bet the Jets to win on Sunday? Because like they lose this game, like he ain't coming back.
Or like 3-team open parlay Jets money line the next 3 weeks. Like they have to win all of them in order for him to come back to have a chance. Something like that. It's not stupid. It's
or
just
at least
like,
the next 2, because they
like,
ain't beating the
they're not
Dolphins in
gonna happen.
Miami with Simeon or Boyle. It ain't happening.
Right.
Laying in bed last night, and I can't stop thinking. Literally, this is the truth, not an exaggeration. I am laying in bed, and all I'm thinking about is how excited I am for the NBA in-season tournament quarterfinal next week. And how I can't. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
I would tell
believe you.
I would tell.
Yeah.
How excited I am for
Who would
Knicks
make up something
Bucks
so
on Tuesday
pathetic?
night. But is it pathetic to have like?
I think a
to
lot
have
of people
games
listening
with,
probably think that. I don't think it is.
Really?
But I'm going to guess
But
a lot
like,
of people. Yeah. That
NBA
you lay. This
regular
is that,
season
this is
games
that
with
picture
high
of like
stakes?
the husband and wife. The husband and wife are in bed, and she's like, I bet he's thinking about other women, and he's like, I can't wait for the NBA in-season tournament quarterfinal.
I honestly, I've been waiting all day for the Kings and Pelicans on Monday night. That's what I want. I want it. So, like, I can't wait for these like, regular season NBA games with really high stakes. And look, like, the Knicks get jobbed. As a Knicks fan, I should be upset because I have to play Milwaukee like 5 times now this year and 3 times in 3 weeks. Obviously, Milwaukee's better than the Knicks, so I guess as a Knicks fan, I should be upset by this. But as a sports fan and as a sports bettor, hell yeah, man. Like Knicks Bucks, like must-win game. I guess not a must-win. Like season's not over if they lose, but the Knicks are I think they're gonna try a little harder than usual to win that game. And like the matchups are good. Like we could get, and I want the Knicks to win, obviously. But I mean, the best matchups going to Vegas: Celtics Bucks in the Eastern Conference semifinal, and then you're at like Suns Kings or Lakers Kings in the West. You get Lakers Celtics in the final. Lakers Bucks, Suns Celtics. Like must win with a ton of money on the line, like little mini playoff previews in the middle of freaking November and December. I mean, that's pretty good. And it didn't really hit me until last night when I was thinking about it. Man, like I'm actually really into this now for next week. It helps that my favorite team's in it, obviously. But man, like how much more juice are these games gonna have now? Like so much more than they would regularly.
Yeah.
So that was my big sports experience last night. I was literally laying in bed thinking, like, I'm going to have to talk about this on the show tomorrow. I've spent the last 30 minutes thinking about how great this is going to be. So there you go.